Hello, everyone. We are super excited to have you here today. Thank you so much for making our time to attend the Unicaf Entrepreneurship Summit. My name is Nelson Collins, the marketing manager for Unicaf Nigeria. Today is an amazing day for us as an institution, and we're glad that our partners, LSETF, which is the Lagos State Entrepreneurship Trust Fund, and also the Nigerian British Chamber of Commerce, for making this possible for us. So thank you so much all for joining. Of course, we can't do this without the attendees yourself. We're super excited that we're about to empower you and with knowledge that will help you become better. I mean, you can believe me that this is the perfect time to discuss this particular issue, building a sustainable business in Nigeria. I also want to mention that we're streaming this live on Facebook. Please do share, tell friends and family to join, so we all can learn together. Right now, we have about 200 people participating. So this is a good crowd. So thank you so much all for joining. The link is still open. Keep sharing so all can attend and learn. So I think we should just immediately start up. I'm going to be moderating myself and Ayodeji, who works with LSETF. Ayo, can you say hello to everyone, please?
Hello, everybody.
So Ayo is one of the powerhouse, the machines behind this amazing event. So Ayo, thank you so much to yourself and your team for making this possible. Okay, so quickly, I think would immediately move into introduce our keynote speaker for today. So permit me to read through her biography so we understand the kind of person that we have here today. I promise you it's going to be life-changing, it's going to be impactful for your business. So outside the knowledge would also be releasing some certain information that are relevant for you, especially the Unicaf Entrepreneurship Award. And of course, some of the things that will be a take-home for you from our amazing speakers. Listen, the kind of people that we have today are people that you get, it's more like a one lifetime chance to get these people speak to you. These are industry experts, these are business owners who have gained massive knowledge from life experiences and also from working with amazing brands. So quickly, let me just run through our amazing speaker today, who is Teju Abisoye. She's the Executive Secretary for LSETF, the Lagos State Employment Trust Fund. Now, quickly, Teju is the Executive Secretary of the Lagos State Employment Trust Fund, where she leads the team to deliver on programs targeted at tackling unemployment in Lagos State. And the programs of LSETF are structured to provide financing and leverage for micro, small, and medium enterprises. Now, before her role as the Executive Secretary, she was a Director of Programs and Coordination at the LSETF and was assigned the responsibility of delivering targeted interventions designed to enable access to finance for the medium small businesses. And also she has led the team in providing skill development opportunities and other structured interventions for job and wealth creation. I'm so sure that if you live in Lagos, you must have seen the impact of LSETF everywhere. So this is a great opportunity for you. If you're a business owner or if you're thinking of starting a new business, here's a great opportunity for you today. Now, she's also an alumni of the Yale's Women Leadership Program. She has an LLM in International Trade and Investment Law from the University of Pretoria. She's a 2021, I don't know how to pronounce that, Amuje leader, pardon me if I'm not pronouncing it right, a flagship program by the Madam Ellen Johnson Center in Liberia. Teju is committed to development of MSMEs as the engine for growth in African economies. Wow. Teju, I'm so sorry that I had to jump because I mean your portfolio is quite a massive one. So thank you so much, Teju, for making our time to do this with us. We're super excited and we're sure that a lot of us, including myself, have a lot to take home today. So thank you so much. I'm going to be yielding the floor to our keynote speaker to discuss about her topic and about the things that she'd want us to know, of course, to address us and also to empower us with some take-home. So Teju, over to you.
Thank you very much, Nelson, and good morning to everybody on this call. It's a pleasure to be here, and I am deeply elated and humbled to deliver the keynote address. But before I start, let me acknowledge our partners. A big thank you to Unicaf for putting this together. The British Nigerian Chamber of Commerce. It's a pleasure to partner with you guys. And of course, the A team at Lagos State Employment Trust Fund that also support the organization and putting together this conference. It's a pleasure to be here. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure today to deliver to you a keynote address on building sustainable enterprises at the Unicaf LSETF Entrepreneurship Summit 2021. I would want to first say that I want to commend all the entrepreneurs that have logged onto this conversation who are here to learn. Because first of all, micro, small and medium enterprises remain the bedrock of our economy in Africa and across the world in actual fact. I must commend every entrepreneur for your fortitude, your strength, your ingenuity, and your commitment, which is worthy of emulation. And it cannot be unrivaled on the impact of our economy. According to the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics, the GDP report for Q3 2019, Nigerian MSMEs contribute almost 50% of the GDP, accounts for over 76% of employment for the labor force. It indeed shows us that it is so important that we pay attention to the growth and development of MSMEs in Nigeria. Once again, I must say you are the real MVPs. However, with the distressing effect of the pandemic on the global economy, it is no longer news that MSMEs were the most affected. A post-COVID lockdown by Faith Foundation showed that 95% of MSMEs were definitely affected. If they were not affected, they're probably in the health sector or they were in the food business. And there were restrictions around movement. And this research further showed that about 82 of these businesses were most likely to lay off 1 to 5 employees. On this premise, I'll be speaking briefly on building a sustainable business in Nigeria. Without a doubt, the business sector faces varying challenges that seem to stifle growth and continuity of businesses. I read recently from Dr. Doyin Salami, economic presidential team, and he spoke about, look, there needs to be consistency in policy, which will ease the difficulty of doing business in Nigeria. But entrepreneurs in Nigeria have shown resilience, they've shown the can-do spirit, and we are all committed together to building sustainable businesses across all states and not just Lagos. So yes, we'll keep pushing, we'll keep thriving despite the odds and the challenges around us. Let me welcome everybody from across Africa and not just Nigeria. But my keynote is really around, my data is really around Nigeria. But I believe that a lot of the key deliverables I'll be speaking to can be used across Nigeria, across Africa, or almost anywhere else in the world. Therefore, I don't want to bore you with academic definitions of building a sustainable business, but what is critical is that sustainability means that it is something that, so it refers to doing sustainable businesses, it just refers to doing business without negatively impacting the environment, community, or the society. Simply put, somebody has defined it as live and to let live. The purpose of every business should primarily be about value creation and impact. It ought to be the driving force of every entrepreneur. So the first building block that is important to building a sustainable business is always think value creation. How do you solve a problem? How do you provide a need? How do you make sure that you are solving a problem? Therefore, that's where you're going to get your customer base from. If you're not providing a solution, if you're not supplying, if you're not solving a need, there's no market for whatever you're trying to sell, whether a product or a service. Without a value creation element to your business or enterprise, you're just another among the pool of businesses. So you must think about your business, how it provides value to who your market is. Secondly, you must understand what your customer needs. So that's how you're creating value for them. But I'm emphasizing this because it speaks to the fact that you must keep evolving with your customer needs. Let me share a good example with teaching these days. When I was young and we did home lessons, our class teacher or our lesson teacher came to the house. Today, you can get a lesson teacher from anywhere in the world, depending on the course or the topic you want to learn or you want to take the extra lessons from. So understanding that the customer needs can change. And if you're not yet on an online platform, even if you can't teach by Zoom, if you haven't learned all those, how to use that to supply your service, you will find out that you may be left behind. And then you find out you can't find customers. So always understand what your customer needs. Then create brand loyalty to your customers so they will repeat, there will always be repeat business. Be sure to make sure that your services are superior and they will continue to deliver. Massimo Ferragamo said in one of the books I was reading, he said, look, when they started the shoe business, if you're familiar with Ferragamo shoes, his father was concerned about surpassing what was in the market. And at that time, there were just 2 brands. So all they wanted to do was provide the quality that would surpass what was in the market. He said today there are over 71 brands they're competing with, but the game hasn't changed. They need to always surpass customer expectation or whatever is available in the market so they can create quality for customers in the market. Then, of course, learn to take advantage of opportunities that exist. What are opportunities that exist to you as an entrepreneur? What are access to structures that are available for you? What are the things you must learn? Information in the market that tells you what's going on. I cannot very quickly, businesses that understood what was going on with COVID were able to pivot or provide additional services. So people started creating masks that they had not done before. They went to immediately learn it. It's now a business, a thriving business for quite a number of people. Somebody set up a plant within a month. It's like, how do you make sure that you are studying the market to be able to take advantage of opportunities that become available? And one of those opportunities for us, for you today, that I bring to you for all the residents of Lagos, is the Lagos State Employment Trust Fund. It's something established by government to support and promote the development of entrepreneurship in Lagos State. We primarily do this by providing access to affordable financing for entrepreneurs, businesses. We provide skills training to make sure that young people can take up jobs. We provide grants. We're a nimble organization and we recognize that because of the effect of COVID, businesses are in dire need of some form of support that is not necessarily credit. So apart from our loan program, we also actually provide grants. We have a grants program to support existing businesses. To date, we have supported over 15,000 beneficiaries across Lagos with loans and grants to actually help their business continue to thrive. These businesses have also created over 100,000 jobs, because our final objective or our reason the tech is job creation. How do we make sure that we are supporting MSMEs to create these jobs? Then how do we provide the skills that people need to take up the jobs that the MSMEs are creating? Our third flagship program is called Lagos Innovate, where we support businesses that are tech-enabled to continue in the ecosystem, to make sure that the tech ecosystem is growing. To date, we have supported over 181 Workspace Vouchers to businesses. We have trained over 7,000 young people with various skills across several industries in Lagos State. Our business is also very big on partnerships to enable us scale our impact. So one of the most exciting parts of our interventions is working with our partners. Today, Unicaf is we're partnering with Unicaf to deliver this summit, but we have a myriad of partners, including the United Nations Development Program, the UNDP, the United States African Development Foundation, the USADF, the World Bank, Coursera, Jobberman, GIZ, Coca-Cola, First Bank, Access Bank, and different partners that we're working with We're working with the World Bank, not directly as a partner, but under a program that is sponsored, federal government sponsored World CARES program, which is a COVID action recovery economic stimulus for businesses that exist. Under that program, we're able to provide grants to businesses so that they can recover from COVID issues. As I conclude, I would like to strongly encourage every entrepreneur here today. Take advantage of these programs that LSETF provides to achieve your business goals. But for us, critically, we want you to position to create more employment opportunities in whatever industry you find yourself, especially for our vibrant and productive youth. You can be rest assured that the eligibility criteria is fair, is free, and is open to all Lagos residents. So your business must be in Lagos. To all our entrepreneurs presenting their business ideas today to qualify for the Entrepreneurship Award, I really wish you the very best. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your time and have a great day ahead. Look forward to the conversations as well. God bless.
Yeah, thank you so much, Teju. Wow. I mean, if it was a physical event, I would have said, oh, let's put our hands together for you. I mean, this is quite eye-opening and very insightful. So thank you so much. I mean, for the people attending, you just heard it all. There's partnership opportunity for you with LSETF, okay? So she has encouraged us to take up this partnership opportunity. And I'm sure that IOD is going to stress a bit on this before we move into the first panelist session. So thank you so much, Teju. Thank you so much for making this possible. We're super excited. And I mean, I've been taking notes. Possibly you'll see me in your office tomorrow. Thank you. Over to you.
Okay, good morning, everybody. Thank you to my honorable ES. That was a mind-blowing introduction. Key things I would take from there. When you have a business, you must think about how to create value. You must also try and provide services that your customers need. And the third thing I took from there was you must create brand loyalty. Fantastic. Now, moving on, we have handpicked this lineup of key industry experts from all walks of Lagos here. So we will be talking about access to finance, infusing technology in your business, how to build a pitch, building a reputable brand, marketing strategies for startups, developing your business ideas. So I'm really excited about the lineup. I would like you to sit back and relax while we'll dive into nuggets. We'll be talking about how to scale up your business, how to start your business, and if you're struggling in your business, how to restructure your business. So moving quickly, we'll be starting off with the access to finance panel. I would like to quickly introduce our panelists. We have Mr. Oluremi Abola, Head of SME Assets, FCMB. Could you say hi, please?
Yeah, good morning, all. Thank you for having me.
Secondly, we have Mrs. Ibade Akpede, Head of SMEs, LSETF. Please say hello.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. Nice to be here.
Okay. Thirdly, we have Mrs. Abimbola Abejelu, Head of Corporate Sustainability and Responsibilities at Wema Bank. Please say hello.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. It's great to be here.
Okay. And last but not the least, we have Mr. Shino Ati Lola, Divisional Head, Retail and Consumer Banking, Sterling Bank.
Good morning, all. It's a pleasure to be here.
So quickly, we'll be running through the questions. I must also add to all the attendees, if you have any questions, please leave your questions in the comment boxes and we will get to it as quick as possible. So I will be starting off with Sterling Bank. So I've been asking 2 questions. Okay, so the first question is, what are the major factors to be considered when approaching a financial institute for funding for business?
Okay, thank you very much, Ayodeji. The critical factors, really and truly, your executive secretary started on a very good note. The first question you need to answer, no matter what the financial institution is, no matter the kind of funding you want to get. Are you in a business? And being a business simply means, are you solving problem? If you are solving problem, then you are in business. Solving problem means you are solving a peculiar problem, and in exchange for a price or a value that is profitable. Immediately you have that, that's the fundamental box to tick. Number two, you have an history or experience in the area in which you are solving particular problem. Number three, you talk about character. What attitude historically do you have? Can people trust you? Do you have integrity? Are your words your bound? I can continue listing. You said two, so let me just stop at that three for now.
Okay, thank you so much for a very.
Except you want me to.
No, I have another question that might also lead into what you're talking about already. So according to research in Nigeria, the highest volume of startups are here in Nigeria, but it's quite unfortunate that due to financial challenges, they end up folding up. So I wanted to ask, what are the measures your organization has put into place to assist startups to overcome these major challenges?
Thank you very much. Most times, and I want to emphasize on startup, and I will crave your indulgence to give me about 2 minutes to speak on this. Firstly, there are various forms of funding for startups, and getting money from a commercial bank should be the last option that they take. I'm not going to speak as somebody in Sterling Bank. I'm going to speak generally to startups. The first one, your own personal funding. The second one, you have friends and family. The third one, you have what we call grants. The fourth one, you have what we call soft loan. The soft loan is a kind of loan that Lagos State Development Trust Fund is giving. You have longer tenure, 3 years. Interest rate is low, 5%. You have moratorium, 3 months. These are easy access to funding that startup can embrace to grow until they get to growth stage. They should be approaching commercial bank for lending, because most times commercial deposit money banks will be asking for what most likely startups will not have. So that's my approach to the question. I'm not going to answer it because I've been a startup and I have a growing business beyond banking. So most startups make mistake of approaching a commercial bank because one, you don't have the experience in what you want to go into. A commercial bank rely on your experience, your historical antecedents, and also you must be able to put your money there. You must be able to share risk with the commercial bank. That's my approach to the question. I don't know if that is satisfactory.
Very satisfactory. Thank you so much. So we'll be moving on to FCMB. So my question to you is, some entrepreneurs say that funding opportunities are available, like Mr. Shino has spoken about, but they say it is limited and not accessible. So what do you think about this? Do you think this is a true notion? That's number one. Then also, what are the funding opportunities that FCMB presents to entrepreneurs?
Okay, well, funding accessibility is there are so many funds out there for businesses, entrepreneurs, and that the one created by the money banks and the one created by the government and other DFIDs. There is a lot of funds there that if you are looking for debt to service your organization. But one thing is this: are they ready to take all these opportunities? And the government has made so much easy for entrepreneurs to get loans from the bank. And the basic thing that they need to do is also put themselves in order, arrange themselves. All these money banks like FCMB, we have criteria that we ask customers to bring forward. Once you can prove those things and you can show us with evidence that you have all those documentations in terms of, number one is your business registered. Most of these businesses we are talking about, they don't even register their businesses. So if you don't register your business, you can't get a business loan, you can get consumer loans, and it won't work for your business. So you need to go and do for your registration first. Get your business registered. Move from personal accounts to business organization, then start to put your accounting documentation together. You must show evidence that last year, this is what we have made. This year, this is what we are projecting. This is what is going to come up. So all those things, they need to go and do. And in us in FCMB, to decide to answer your second part, apart from customers not really getting themselves right, we have put in place, we have a business zone, app that we have now for our customers, that if you can go to that business zone, there are a lot of advisory services that we offer. We offer advisory services and partners with all our partners on that platform that they can give you with a small token, some of them even free advices in terms of account opening, in terms of how to do your accounting documentation to present yourself for a bank, for a bankable loan, and in terms of other trainings that you need to do in terms of how to keep your books, how to make your business bankable and presentable to the bank. The opportunities are wide and they are there in the markets, and there are a lot of things that the businesses these days can get from the bank. Like there are some loans that are interest-free. There are some loans that are, like us now, we have FCMB She Ventures that has zero interest, but you must have a registered company. You must have been operating for a while, minimum of 3 to 6 months, operating a bank account, know how to do your accounting, provide some documentation in terms of tax returns and all those things. Then those opportunities are there for you if you're a woman entrepreneur to just walk in and take a loan for free. Then there are other opportunities that you can take loan below the market rate because you can get intervention funds. Like LSETF funds now, if you don't have documentation in terms of a business, you can't even access it. So all those things are what the funds are there, but are they ready to go there and pick the funds? I hope I've answered the questions.
Yes, you have. Can you please run us through your loan process and your timeline?
Okay, thank you. We have different type of loans. In FCMB, we have secured loans and we have unsecured loans. Basically, we have a quick loan that is unsecured and it's two variants. We have one, that quick loan is general for businesses in the sense that you don't need collateral to get those loans. It's a cash flow lending based on what you have done on your account, and we check your documentations and we avail you based on what we have seen that you are doing. And it's free. You can get up to 10 million naira on that line. So without collateral. So that one is just to operate your account for a minimum. Even at times we look around and we can tweak it here and there if you are just opening your account with us, but you have been operating in another bank. So that is the unsecured side for general business. Then the other side is for women in business. I just mentioned now. If you are a woman in business and you are a woman entrepreneur, open an account with us running for minimum of 3 months, then you can come around and say, okay, you want a business loan, then we can give you a business loan based on She Ventures. If you meet the criteria of all the minimum turnover they need to ask from you, then you should be able to access the loan. Then on the secured side, which is what large organization and medium corporates needs, we have those ones are structured loans that you have to provide collateral. You need to come to the bank with your documentation. You need to provide financials. You need to know what is the structure of your organization. You need to provide all those things that tells us that you are in business, that you have continuity, that you have character, and all those evidences within the documentation we are going to ask from you. But basic thing is that what is your financial, how do you do your financial accounting? How do you package yourself? You must have audited financial if you are looking for a large loan. So those are the things that you need to prepare for secured loan in FCMB. And the loans are there. And the pricing varies across the line, that we have intervention fund that we can give to you, and we have CBN funds that we can help you to secure. But all these things are documented, and you must have audited financial to access those loans.
Thank you so much, sir. I can see that we have a lot of questions in our question and answer box. May I please say, please be patient, and before the end of the panel, Nelson, I would need your help, please, to assist with the box. So moving forward quickly, thank you very much, sir, for those perfectly answered questions. And we would like to talk to Wema Bank, Mrs. Abimbola. We wanted to ask, do you have loan schemes for grassroots entrepreneurs?
Thank you so much. Thank you for asking that question. It's actually quite apt. So we have actually different loan schemes for different segments of customers. And there is actually loan schemes for people at the grassroots level. But what we do with those sort of entrepreneurs is to ensure that they work within clusters. I'm sure you heard Mr. Gwola and Mr. Tislas talking about not having documentations, not having all of those things. But if you work together in a cluster, it's easier to actually access the kind of funding that you need to help you to grow your business. And so more importantly, the things that we do is to help you to put necessary things in place, because you know you're at the grassroots level, and some things will necessarily not be done by you because you've not taken your business to the level that you want it to be. So one first thing is help you to register your business. It's so simple these days, and government has made it a lot easier for you to get a business registered. Make sure you also have something called bookkeeping, basic knowledge of, or basic account flow of what you do regularly, so that we can see what you need really. Is it cash flow is it working capital that you need for your cash flow, or is it equipment that you need to upscale your business? Is it packaging that you need to do, or do we need to connect you to the right set of people that will give you access to market? So there are different things that you need. So the bank sits with you to do that. Sometimes if it's just working capital, you might just take a micro loan. A micro loan starts from like 10,000 up to like 200,000, depending on the kind of business that you do and the level that you are. But we need to understand your business first, because before you can access those kind of loans. For instance, when we work with clusters, if you're in the agri sector, and we have a number of people for instance, the guys in Oyo State, they ship out the export shea butter. And so what they do is to bring everybody together. What do you need? How much do you need to like scale this business? Put it in the right package that will be acceptable to the country that you're taking it to. Advisory services with other agents that will enable you to take it to the right market and let it get there in good time. So we put everybody together. We help you to access something called the export expansion grant from the federal government, and you now package your products. You earn your money in foreign currency. The money is domiciled, maybe with Wema, obviously, because we're the one helping you, and you bring it back, and then the cycle continues. If it's equipment leasing that you need, we'll help you to lease an equipment that would help you to upscale yourself. Say, for instance, you need some machinery that will help you to scale to the next level. We'll help you together. The assets will still be in the name of the bank because they lease until you fully pay down on that one. Sometimes we also help you to access the ecosystem. So we have people that are into fashion designing. They need to get material, the fabrics to make those clothing. They need logistics partners. So we introduce you to like your circle that will help you to scale your business. So you make the clothes. Somebody helps you in packaging. Someone helps you in shipping in the items that you need to put in. So even in the tech space, which was something that we do very well at Wema. So we drive digital, and we actually have programs that we organize for these tech companies at least once or twice a year, which is called Alcoholics. We help them to position their business. Once they're done, they compete as well. They get grants from us. We put them across to people that can actually help them to scale. And sometimes we also buy into some of these businesses and help them to scale further to the level that they want. And we've seen this happen over and over again. And we can mention about a few network cares, they're into modern child health care services. And we help them to scale their businesses. They've gone beyond the state that they are in, and they're moving to different levels. So definitely there's funding for everybody. What you need to do is to ensure that you have the right approach. Number one, register your business, understand your business, know what you require at any point in time, know what you want to do in terms of scaling, know how you want to scale, understand your target market and what is required, and just talk to your bank, and we're there for you. Thank you
so much, Mara, for that very detailed explanation. Just one more question before you go. What are the factors to decide when dividing your company for equity for funding?
That's an interesting question. And luckily, I think last time I mentioned that we have some tech startups that we work with. It's actually not a uniform approach for everyone, but it depends on the kind of business that you run, the sort of industry that you found you're operating in, and your long-term goals. But before you can actually divide your business for equity for your business, you need to say, what exactly do I need? What is this partner bringing on board? It could be your investor, it could be family and friends, venture capital. It could also be advisors. It could be your co-founder. So I founded a business now, and I have co-founders. So I put in my own seed capital, which is actually very important for you to have. You bootstrap your business. So by the time you get to a certain stage, this is the next stage. So what is the next stage for you? So you need to plan accordingly. Where do I want to be in the next 2 years, the next 5 years? What is the growth plan that I have for this business? And will help you determine the sort of funding that you need, and help you determine the right approach to the people that you need to meet with to help you with the funding. So when you decide on that, make sure you use an expert, because sometimes there are legal matters that you cannot really foresee now, but they would now guide you in terms of the things that you need to put in place or what you need to know. So where do you see yourself? So you have different series of funding. So I can say series A, B, C, D. For series A, what I need to do is to actually make my business known, deepen my market share. So what I need now is just a bit of funding. I have my own capital. Say I'm the founder. I have 60%. All I'm looking for is 40% to add to this to actually deepen my market. So what do I need to do to deepen my market? I need maybe I need more in terms of branding and communications. I need to upscale in terms of technology. And to scale in terms of different things. So that's series A. Maybe for series B, I need to have talent, the right talent to help me to scale the business. So I need the real tech guys to come and help me in. Not that I've like scaled my business within the context of Nigeria, but I want to go outside Africa and I want to have better. So let's look at this case of Paystack and Stripe. So Stripe wanted to have a deeper penetration across Africa. Paystack already established themselves in Nigeria here in terms of online payments. So most of the online payments that you see, and they actually have APIs. API is application programming interface with different banks, and they already help you. So let's say me, I want my customers to make payments. All they need to do is to punch your debit card and get the payment across. And so Paystack, like Stripe met Paystack, we want to go further than what we have now. Want to enter the other African market, and you already have this thing. So what should I do? And they're like, oh, we have this in place. We can help you to scale easily. Just like a case of white labeling. That's white label design, and they got $200 million for that business, and they've helped them to scale accordingly to where they want to be. So you need to look at series B. Is this what I need? But in doing that as well, you need to think again. Do I want this investment forever, or I want it for just a short period of time? So you can do convertible shares or convertible bond debt or convertible debt. That this is what I want. I want it for 2 years. I want it for 3 years. Once my business scales to this X number or X value, then you can buy back your shares and we move on to the next level. So there are different cases and scenarios that we can look at. And you can also get banks to actually even take equity in your business as well, because it can help you to position to get grants from multilateral agencies, from angel investors, and all of those. So by the time you put all these things together and you work with the right partner, a bank or whoever you're looking at, then it can guide you through and make you to get the equity or the funding that you need at the cheapest cost and at the best value for you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So Mrs. Ibade, as the head of SMEs at LSETF, you interact regularly with entrepreneurs. In your view, what do you think is most important when accessing finance for one's business?
Okay, thank you, Adeji, for that good question. So for me, very basic, very important as well. You need to know, what do you want to use this money for? It's not enough to just say, I need to expand, so I need money. You need to be able to tie it to different things. Either you want it for personal expenses, or you want it to purchase an asset or assets, or you just need it for working capital. By that, I mean, maybe you want to buy more stocks, you want to become a distributor, maybe a new distributor for what you need the loan for, so that way you can apportion and you can even assess whether the right loan to take, what the interest rate would be, all of those sort of analysis and assumptions. You need to know them so that way you can then get the right loan for your business. You may find out that when you do that sort of analysis, that loan may not be the right thing for you at that point in time. For example, maybe you just moved into a new office space and you want new furniture. Really, is that most likely not, right? So it's important that you understand what the loan is going to be used for, so that way you can apportion, and prepare for your repayments.
Okay, thank you so much. Your reception was a bit on and off, but we did manage to hear what you said. So the next question, at LSETF, what funding opportunities are available for entrepreneurs?
Okay, I know Teju mentioned some at the beginning during her keynote, but I'll just run through them again. So in terms of access to finance, we have both the loans, which is your debt, and we have the grants. So I'll start off with the grants. So which is the Lagos Cares, which we are implementing on behalf of Lagos State government. And interestingly, the Lagos Cares is part of the wider NG Cares, which is a World Bank project. So for those of you not in Lagos, you can also find out who the implementing agency is for the NG Cares project in your state. So through that, we have grants for credit grants through which you can get up to 40% of your loan repaid, a loan from a financial institution. It has to be a loan from a recognized financial institution. You can get up to 40% of the loan paid for you, up to a maximum of 5 million naira if you're an SME. And if you are an ME, that's a micro enterprise, up to a maximum of 1 million naira. Now, it doesn't come as cash per se, right? But I mean, you are getting some money. So of course, that is access to finance, so it's funding as well. You also have the operational grants, which you can use for operational expenses. Just to add that for the credit grant, it has to be loans that was taken from at the earliest, 1st of March last year. And of course, it has to be a performing loan. So that's for the credit grant. For the operations grant, it can be used for salary expenses. It can be used for utilities such as rent or water, things like that. And we also have the
I think we've lost Ibadi there again. Ibadi, can you still hear us? Okay, Nelson, let's just do about 4 questions first, and then we will get back to Ibadi.
Okay, so we have about 72 questions, so I don't know how we're going to do
because of time, we can only take 4, unfortunately, for the 4 panelists.
Okay, so is there a way they can reach out to your organization for those that eventually may not be able to answer their questions? Maybe an email address or phone number?
Yes, yes, definitely. I would put that in the comment box.
Okay, so let me just quickly pick a few questions that would respond to. One from Hamid Oluwabi. He said, please, can someone migrate from your micro enterprise loan to the SME loan?
Sorry, did you say the question was for Ibadi? Because
so he said, the question is for LSETF. So I think it's for your organization.
Okay.
I can answer that question. This is Iri Oladunjoy from LSETF. Should I go ahead?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Okay, so you can actually migrate from an MES to an ME loan, but you would have to have serviced your first, the first facility from us properly and not had any defaults, and then you reapply as a renewal.
Thank you so much, Iri.
Yeah, thank you so much, Iri. Now, the next question is from Dare Oluwadipoku. Says, thank you for the opportunity to be here. My name is Dare. I would like to know, I'm into renewable energy solar solution, and I need finance to grow the business. So I think this question is open to both the organization and also the financial institution. So he didn't specify who to answer this question, but someone can help us shed more light on that.
Do you mind if I answer it?
No problem, sir.
Okay, in Sterling Bank, there is a desk focus on renewable energy, and startup experience and renewable energy can always approach Sterling Bank. We have about 50 billion in funds for renewable energy, and we have been partnering with several people on bringing alternative source of power to Nigeria, especially rural areas and those in agro-allied industries. So you can reach out.
Thank you so much. Just trying to get the last question, trying to be fair to everyone. So Zainab Hassan, the question is, she's the CEO of Dark Mason, which is a startup business. Please, my question is, in a situation where you collect loan or startup fund and somehow can't pay complete at the time the fund is due, what happens? So I think anybody can answer this question, because I believe the same, maybe Ms. Bimbola should help us out if she wants to speak. Wema Bank.
Yes, thank you, Nelson. So things happen, life happens, situations get bad. You can always reach out to your bank or whoever your promoters that this has happened, and you have to be genuine. So you need to address the situation. What are the reasons that I have that I'm unable to pay, and what are the potentials that I'll be able to pay in future? So, for instance, you have businesses that were affected by the EndSARS last year. and for no reason of theirs, things like something like that happens and you're not unable to pay. So you need to look at it together, and you would agree with your promoters or the bank, oh, this has happened and what do we need to do? That's another good reason why you need to have an insurance and to back up your business, whatever sort of business that you're operating or industry you find yourself. Always have an insurance. There are insurance for different businesses and at different stages. And luckily, the LSETF team just mentioned that something called CARES, Lagos CARES. So you can access this kind of funding as well. That, oh, I'm unable to pay because something happened, but you have to be genuine. This is the genuinity in this and the intention and willingness to pay as well. That these are the things that have happened. Please support me to like jumpstart my business or to revive my business again. And when I pay and I make a payment plan or a payment pattern when I start to make money. So there are people that there are so many people that have defaulted at one point, but the intention to pay back is actually very important, and they'll give you the required support, and they will also ensure that when you start to make money, then you start to pay back, even if it is trickles, but you have the right intention and you have the right attitude. There's always room for that. I hope I answered your question.
Well, I believe you did. So, Ms. Ayodeji, can you allow me to ask just two more questions? Just two more questions, please. Just two more. I'm going to be very fast because you're muted.
Oh, I'm sorry. Very quickly, please. And we have Ibadi back. So if you have some more questions,
I'm going to be very fast on this. One says, does LSETF have a unit that offer guide to startups to know what he or she should do to avoid any government agencies from harassment? Very important question. So who would wonder, the LSETF, I mean, the ball, you help me out with that.
Since it's an LSETF question, I was smiling because I saw Irayo earlier on when I joined in. Apologies for my network is messing up today. But yes, we have a unit in charge of that, and the head of that unit, Lagos Innovate, which was so-called startups. She's here on the call. I believe she's on the panel after mine. So she'll be giving more details around that. But I also know that we can, on the chat box, provide the link so that you can go there and get more information. But the short answer is yes, we do.
Okay, thank you so much. I believe that
last question, Nelson.
Yeah, last question. Last question. So let me just put one comment. For those that we cannot answer their questions, please visit the LSETF website to find out more information, and also the partnering institutions, the banks. I believe that you will have relevant information on the website, and to contact them to find out how you can utilize their services. Over to you. I'm sorry, hands up. Over to you.
Okay, thank you so much to the panelists talking about finance for your business. You had it all here. We spoke about basic knowledge of it all. Sorry, apologies for that. When you are trying to get a loan, you must have information about your cash flow, your profitability. You must register your business. It is very important. What do you want this money for? Very, very important as well. Your character, your history, these are things that would be put into consideration when you are trying to access a loan. And lastly, in regards to equity and the decision, it's not a decision that will be made alone. You would need to seek a specialist or an expert in that regard. And as Mrs. Abimbola also mentioned, she said that the bank also helps to take part of that equity to support your businesses, because it positions you it puts you in a better position also to even access grants and to access more loans in terms of volume. So quickly, we'll be moving on to the next panel, which will be discussing about infusing technology in your business. So very quickly, I'd like to introduce our panelists. We have Aki Shope-Roberts, who is the Senior Executive Industry Solutions at Microsoft. Hello, Shope.
Hello, good morning. Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone.
Then we have Mrs. Ire Oladujoye, sorry, my Yoruba is very bad, head startups, Lagos Innovate at LSETF. Hi, Ire.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Ayodeji. Oladujoye.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And we also have Ife Orioki, who is the Chief Commercial Officer of Flutterwave. Hello, Ife.
Hi, good morning. Hi, Ayodeji. Hi, Akin Shope. Hi,
as I write.
Okay, so very quickly, we'll be starting with Microsoft. So we wanted to please ask, with the advantage of technology, the world is now a global village. How do you think entrepreneurs should leverage on technology to upscale their businesses?
Thanks a lot, Ayo, for that question. It's really broad, but I'll try to narrow it down. So, I mean, if you look at any business, you have a service or a product that you develop and sell to customers, right? So, first of all, is having a customer view or lens to whatever it is you're doing, whether it's your customers are within a consumer segment or a business segment. So the first thing you need to think about is how, one, do I locate this group of customers that I'm targeting for my product and service? And how do I interact with them? That should give you ideas on, the types of technologies that you would use. And depending on your stage of maturity and scale, your investment in technology will obviously grow. So for a startup, you'll be handling a small size of customers in the initial. So you have a commensurate investment in technology at that particular point of time. So you think about things about how are the customers going to order for my service, and how do they pay for this service? If they have a problem with my product or service, how do they contact me, and how do I provide, after sales service and care for those customers? Those are, very important and critical moments of truth in the life of any business and from the customer, which could make or mar you. So what technology does is to simplify and bring about transparency of the process. As a customer, you want transparency in dealing with whatever business, whatever product or service provider that you're dealing with. So first of all is from an onboarding perspective, have a clear database, and I use that word loosely, of all of your customers, so that one, you can have targeted communication and targeted marketing for those particular customer segments. So that's the first thing. The second thing is in the mode and ease of the customers, actually getting access to you. So whether it's physically in store, how are you able to improve the experience by infusing technology to make it easier for the customer, or whether it's a business that actually could be transacted completely through digital channels. So it's talking about using social media, web and mobile platforms to interact with those customers. And then after they deal with you, because marketing is a really significant spend for a startup. So you're usually going to be more efficient if you're using your existing customer base, either getting more customers through them or getting more business by deepening your penetration. So you want to have, a good understanding of that customer, who they are, what they like, and continue to penetrate them, or the people that they interact with. And that's where technology comes into play, because you need systems to do all of the things that I've just spoken about, whether it's just a customer record database or some kind of customer relationship management system in whatever simple form, whether it's in Excel or it's actually in a cloud-based solution for small businesses, and then how you're infusing all the interaction points in store, branch, and online, so you have a big view of the customer. The other end, very quickly, is how you're tracking your financing. So someone pays for a service, how are you tracking that invoice? Has the invoice been sent to that particular customer? Offers another opportunity for you to infuse technology. Now, many entrepreneurs, because you can handle these things when you have 10, 20 customers without technology, that's the truth. You can find a way to hack it. But as you scale, you tend to find that you'll be more error prone if you don't have a system that is handling invoicing and keeping your books in order. The last panel talked about, access to finance. A business that can access finance would have, very tidy financial statements, so that, any investor or any debt provider, has enough information about you to be able to see whether you're creditworthy or not. So that's another role that technology plays for you, and having a, core finance system. We call them ERPs, and there's some for, at least at Microsoft, we have, for smaller businesses and large businesses off our Dynamics 365 platform. Just to show all of your transactions neatly tidied all the way into how you make money. And then it also allows you from a pricing perspective, because you can see the historic pricing trends and all of that information, whether for you as a business owner, your investors or your creditors have that, visibility. So I was talking about the customer side, and then on the income and, account management side. These are critical elements that any small business must, start with. And as you scale, there are many other technologies that you infuse into your business. But I guess as the panel goes on, I may be able to share a few things about this. Thanks.
So much, Chopper. So interesting. I would comment on what you said at the end of this panel. Just moving on swiftly to Flutterwave, Mr. Ife. In this day and age, we understand that technology is very important. So my question to you is, at what stage in your business should you infuse technology?
Thank you very much for that question. Given that, I work in a tech company, for me, it's day zero. But if you think about it more broadly outside of, technology, where the world is today, technology is driving everything. So the question I think that, an entrepreneur needs to ask themselves is not necessarily, on what day do I infuse technology? I think it's what am I trying to offer and how can I offer that in a digital world? The reality is everything is going digital, whether it is legal services or banking services or otherwise, food services, everything is going digital. So I think an entrepreneur actually needs to ask themselves, how do I compete and how do I offer whatever it is that I want to do in a digital world? And that, I think in that sense, you'll get the answer. But if I were to advise anyone, I would say, whatever it is that you're planning to set up, you must already be thinking about what role technology will play. If you're thinking of what, Akin Shopper just said, whether it's just in managing your inventory or managing your finances or managing your communications to the customer, you have to think about the role that technology will play. Not everyone would set up a technology platform, but technology must, in today's world, realistically play a very significant role in your business.
Thank you for that. So speaking about infusing technology at day zero, what measures or precautions would you advise in terms of safety? Because we all know out there, evolving technology, we mean you're opening your business to more risks online.
I think that it's also, I think you're right in the sense that there are inherent risks, but I would say that they are not any different from all other inherent risks in doing business. I said earlier just now that we live in a digital world, and so as things are moving, you also have to move with it. I would suggest that, when you're thinking about it, you should always speak to other people and consult. Many people have been victims of, unfortunate circumstances due to just the fact that they didn't speak to anyone else. Not everybody can do whatever it is that they say they do. The same way that I would, if you were a farmer and you were going to sell a particular produce, you would do your market research. Who are the people that actually do buy my particular produce? What actually can my produce do? What is the market value for it? I think it's the same way that an entrepreneur needs to do their study. If what I'm doing is communications, how do I ensure that, the people that I'm working with or my digital partners are actually legit? If it is payments, obviously, that possibly has the highest amount of risk, security risk in today's world. Who is my partner? Are they certified by what they're supposed to be certified by? I don't want to go into the specific details of the certification, but I think that's some of the basic things that I would suggest in terms of doing your research.
Thank you so much for that, Mr. Ife. So would like to ask Mrs. Ife of, Mrs. Ire, of Lagos State Employment Trust Fund. So 2 questions in one. So we're asking, why digital? What are the benefits of infusing this into your business? And also the second question is, what are the opportunities at the Lagos Innovate table that are available to Lagos residents?
Thank you, Ion. So if I go, like, just jump on what Ife and Akishokwe had said, in this day and age, it will actually be wrong of you to start a business and think you're not going to infuse technology in it. And it's like, I think there's a saying that if you don't innovate, you are dead, because everybody else is innovating. And what's technology? People make it seem like it's something so high, high level. Technology is just skills, techniques or methods and processes that are used in production of goods or your services to accomplish what you're trying to do in an easier way or more efficient way, and if you even look at it at the basic level, when you had simple things like, during the prehistoric innovation, you had shaped tools were made. That was an innovation. But now we've moved so fast that you need to keep up to ensure that your business is, at par with everybody else. Communication was made easier by the internet, by like telephones. So you're now working on a global scale. So if you don't innovate and using technology, you're going to be left behind. You say, what are the benefits? Even when you mention the risks of security, using technology actually helps you with security, because with technology or no technology, you're at risk with the security of your business. So if I speak to what LSETF through the Lagos Innovate program provide for the tech ecosystem, what we do is Lagos State Employment Trust Fund was created to create job creation and wealth creation for all MSMEs in Lagos State, for all Lagos residents. And one of the pillars in which we do that is through the Lagos Innovate. And the Lagos Innovate does the same thing, but just for the tech ecosystem. So we want to ensure that the best startups, the best, we're creating the best environment for tech-enabled businesses to thrive. And again, we're talking about why you must infuse technology. So in other words, all businesses, all MSMEs should be thinking of infusing technology in their business. And it starts with things as little as, even just having a good website that is communicating properly to your customer base. And why would you do this? Using technology boosts your business operations. So once you know that you're creating value, you already established that you're creating value. What you need to then think about is, how am I going to boost my business operations to ensure that as I scale, like as Shokwe said, is when you scale, you need to make sure that foundationally you're doing the right things, and then you can scale. And so you're not finding massive gaps when you're already scaling. LSETF Lagos Innovate provides different interventions for the tech ecosystem, one of which is the Idea Hub. And the Idea Hub is basically, if you have an idea of how you can use technology to better your business, or you have a business idea and you're thinking, how can I do this? Applying to our Idea Hub program enables you to be paired up with a mentor that is an expert in your industry, in your sector. And they give you, it's like an incubation program, and they mentor you over a 12-week program. At the end of the 12-week program, you have an opportunity to pitch to us and some judges to get access to our Workspace Voucher program. Our Workspace Voucher program was the pioneering program for the Lagos Innovate unit at LSETF, and that is giving access for business owners, startups that use technology to better their businesses, to have access to infrastructure, because you find that we're speaking about what makes a business sustainable. Some of it goes beyond having the required capital or the business idea. Statistically, it says 70% of new businesses in Nigeria collapse within the first 5 years because of several reasons. One of which is lack of, appropriate infrastructure, power, roads, energy, and things that will support you to grow. So the Workspace Voucher is kind of bridging this for you, and you have access to our 37 hubs we currently have across Lagos State, where you are, depending on the stage of your business, you get a 3-month voucher, a 6-month voucher, or 12-month voucher to go and use this place. All you need to do is bring your stuff. So you're not thinking about power, you're not thinking about internet connection. You also have access to network, because if you're in your little room doing your business by yourself, it's highly unlikely that meeting other people that are doing the same thing as you, having the same energy as you, would help you, grow your business faster than if you were by yourself. We also have the talent development program, and that's basically helping you upskill yourself in the tech sector to get the jobs you need, to get the knowledge required to become what you want to be. Like the end product is to create jobs and to create wealth within Lagos State.
Thank you so much. For those just joining in, we've been talking about infusing technology in your business. A summary of what the panelists have talked about. Technology does boost your business. It's better to infuse technology in your business from day zero. Technology also helps with communication in terms of your where your sellers are. It puts you in a position where you can reach more people. Technology is also used to protect your business as well. And just buttressing on the part that involves expertism. We spoke about it when we were talking about access to finance. Before you dive into anything, please ask, do your market research. Like if you're going to buy something like Mr. Ife said, you would find out what the best options are. So talk to an expert, do your market research. Would like to hand over now to Nelson, who will be taking just 3 questions, please.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Ayodeji. I think we just have one question relating to tech, and I'll proceed to it. The question is from Anefio Blessing. What are the possible technology that can be used by a startup to get a well-organized accounting and bookkeeping? Also, what is the best and affordable technology to promote one's business?
Okay, I think I would hand this over to Flutterwave.
I would say there are several accounting softwares that one can use. Last I checked, there's Wave, there's QuickBooks, there is, I think, FreshBooks, there's Cashew, there's ZipBooks, there's so many. I think that question can also be easily typed into Google, and you just see a bunch of things that come. In terms of which one is the best, I don't know, and I'm not able to recommend a particular one. As well as being able to get your business out there. I think that, for a startup, social media is one of the simplest ways to do it. It's one of the most cost-effective and affordable ways to do it. And then, once you get the hang of it and you understand perhaps your market dynamic, you can then begin to look at things like Google ads and Facebook ads and how to push your business forward. But I would say ultimately, before you jump into social media, it's also important to understand your own business. If you're just starting out, I think, first of all, try and run through, perhaps just understanding your business, your transactions. That is something that, we give to our customers, being able to understand the dynamics of your business, how you're transacting, how your customers are coming to you. And then that sort of information would also give you a leg up in the way that you want to approach the market best.
Thank you so much to our panelists. Quickly, we'll be moving on to building a reputable brand and people management, how to create a pitch for investors, and go-to-market strategies for startups. Over to you, Nelson.
Thank you, Ms. Ayodeji, for quite an amazing session. So, like you said, I think we're really behind time, so I'm going to proceed immediately to the next session, which is building a reputable brand and people management. And to help us do justice to this particular conversation is Mr. Olutayo Olatunji. He's the category manager, beverages for Nestle. And also I have Ms. Nneka Eneli. I hope I pronounced it correctly. She's the head human resource, Siao Consulting. And the last person is Ms. Opeyemi Makinwa. And she's the head of reserve, Diageo. So I would start with our first speaker. Please, you can turn your cameras on if you're speaking on this session. So I'll start with the first one, which is Diageo. Now, I don't know if it's Miss or Mrs.
It's Miss. It's Miss. It's fine.
Oh, okay.
It's Miss.
Okay.
Hi.
Okay, thank you. So the first question goes to you. So you have worked with a lot of reputable brands in Nigeria. What is the key to building a reputable business alongside people management? For example, colleagues and customers.
Okay, thank you very much. And sorry, I had to put off my camera because I'm on en route to Ibadan, and I don't want the network to be very patchy. So good afternoon, everyone. Again, for me, one thing that stays consistent across all my experiences with brand building or building a reputable brand is obviously clear segmentation and effective communication, and also the brand staying true to its purpose. I think Teju alluded to that at the start, where she was saying, how do you ensure brand loyalty? How you sure that you're telling your brand story the right way. So for consumers and customers alike, you need obviously to clearly understand your target audience, and once you can define this, you then need to tell your brand story in the language that they understand. Every brand has a unique selling offering, and I think I heard Ayodeji say that what is your offering? What value are you offering to your consumers and your customers? And you have to be able to understand with clarity and to be able to connect, to the emotions of your target audience. When you're telling your story. If your target audience, for example, because for Reserve, what we do is work a lot with HNIs, so if your target audience is HNIs, for example, you have to understand the marketing principles and mix, that applies to this segment of people. I mean, when we talk about products, what is the unique offering that you're selling to HNIs? Is this what they really need? What's the proposition that you're trying to solve for? When we look at price as well, we also need to be sure that you're not overly priced or underpriced. You have to be at the right price points, so that they understand. If you understand your segment, you obviously understand, what it means. Like for HNI's example, for an example, you don't want to be underpriced. And, in Nigeria, especially, maybe when they say things are really, not priced the right way or the right way they want to be priced, they actually, tend to think that, these things are fake or it's not really worth it. It's not value for money. Another thing is promotion, so you need to understand their buying behavior, consumer buying behavior. What is it that influences these people? How do you connect with them so that you're really packing a punch where it matters? Also places, where do they go? Where do you find these people? I think someone was saying that on the tech platform as well. How do you connect? Where do they even go? Are they online? Are they in person? Are they, you need to understand as well. For colleagues, I would say that the most important criteria in this is ensuring that they buy into the vision of your brand, because obviously for you to push out any brand, you have to have an energetic team, to work with. So they must know the brand purpose, they must be able to articulate it, and, they must understand the vision that you're trying to, drive with your brand, and they must buy into it. I think, with all of that, you should be able to, build a reputable brand and also have drive for sticky customers in terms of brand loyalty. So I think that's it for me.
Oh, thank you so much for that insightful information. Now, some of the take home is effective communication. The next is, what is your unique selling proposition and how do you connect with your customers? And also ensure that your colleagues understand the vision. Now, I want to move over to Mr. Olatunji. Sir, in a bid to build a reputable brand and expand one's business, customers and employee management is also a major concern. Now, how do you think entrepreneurs can manage both the customers and the employee while trying to build a reputable brand? Over to you, sir.
All right. Good afternoon, everybody. And thanks for giving us this platform to share our experiences. One of the things that I have seen over the years, and I think is very, very true about all the great brands that we've seen all over the world, is the consistency of the personality of your brand. And when I talk about the consistency of the personality of your brand, I'm talking about the integrity of your brand. There's no way you connect with a brand that you cannot talk about. A brand is like a person. What does your brand stand for? How would your consumers, your customers, your employees, your stakeholders, how will they describe your brand? There must be something, there must be a consistency running through what you say your brand is and the way your stakeholders perceive it. The consumers, are they seeing it the same way you are seeing it? Integrity is also about delivering on the promise of your brand. So if I say this cup of Milo gives you the right type of energy, gives your kid the energy to take him further. When my kid or your kid takes a cup of Milo in the morning, does it deliver on the promises that it has made? when you say this shoes that I'm going to be giving to you offers this level of comfort. Where does it deliver the comfort? So there is the critical thing I see, and that is something that I personally still struggle with a lot of small scale businesses in Nigeria, is that we make a lot of promises, but the brands fail to deliver on the promises. Whether they be products, whether they be services, there's a lot of gap between what the brand promises and what they are delivering. And I think this is a really critical aspect that every small scale entrepreneur should look into in building a brand that will connect with your consumer, your customers, and your colleagues or your stakeholders as well.
Thank you so much, sir. You so much hit the nail on the head. Brand integrity. I mean, I know that you can't stress that enough. Are you keeping true to what you're telling your customers? Are you really representing what your brand stands for? So thank you so much, sir, for that amazing insight. Now, moving on to the next speaker, Ms. Neka. Now, of course, I addressed initially, she's a consultant. She works with Siao Consulting. Okay, so SIA. Oh, yes. Okay, it's an acronym. Okay.
Yes,
okay,
it's SIA. Yes, thank you.
So, yeah, she's a head human resource for SIO Consulting.
Human resource consulting.
Human resource consulting. Yeah. Yes. Thank you so much. Okay. Now, the question that I want you to help us to address is, your organization is known primarily for strategy and consulting. Okay. Now, what advice would you give to business owners who are looking at not just starting a business, but also building a sustainable brand?
Okay, thank you very much for that, Nelson. Good morning, everybody. Okay, building a sustainable brand. Let's take it in two parts, starting a business and then building a sustainable brand. Before you start your business, first thing you must think through clearly and carefully about what your business stands for, what's it about, what do you want to communicate by your business. So set the foundation, set your values, have your values right, have your vision, your mission. My co-speakers and panelists had spoken about the integrity of your brand. So that starts from the beginning. Branding is not just the colors, the brand colors, the logo. It goes beyond that, And then when you have that set out, then your brand has to live these values. As a consultant, we find out that dealing with a lot of businesses, especially when it's for entrepreneurs and small businesses and SMEs, when the personality, that's the person, the owner of the business, has a strong brand, they find it difficult to dissociate the brand or separate the brand from the the brand of the business. You have to do that as an entrepreneur. Your business is a separate entity. So your business or your organization or whatever your company you set up has to live its own, live out its own life. You know what I mean? So know that it's not you. You have to build that so that the business can outlive you. As a business owner, you tend to want to do everything. You are the CEO, you are the marketer, you are everything. Yes, at the beginning, yes, it has to start like that. But as you grow, if you want your business to be sustainable and outlive you, which is a problem we find in a lot of Nigerian businesses, and that's because we don't replicate ourselves. I like what Okwemi said. You have to have people that you can also build up your people. So that, a lot of times as entrepreneurs, you have friends. You say, maybe, when you start off, it's your friends that you first provide your services to, or they'll probably be the ones to patronize you first. As your business grows, as your organization grows, let those people know that, hey, I have other people in-house who can also provide, the service at the same quality and standard. So replicate yourself so that it's not, you don't get burnt out. Because I find a lot of burnout in entrepreneurs because they want to do everything. Put structures in place as you go. Identify the key positions. You can't be the accountant, be the CEO. So you need an accountant. Yes, once you got to a certain level, employ an accountant. Yes, keep your costs low, but I'm sure you can get accountants who are offering SMEs and MSMEs services. So get an accountant to help you do that. Do that accounting part. Put in a marketer. Just have a lean structure, but replicate and make sure that these people are also carrying the same values, the same goals and everything that you have set up for your business, so that they can always people are comfortable when they see that, oh, this person, so that your business has its own personality, And then you begin to make sure that you are consistent. As my co-panelists talked about consistency, Rita talked about consistency. You'll have to be consistent because you keep at it. There'll be tough times. Yes, there'll be tough times, but be ready to weather the storm. You know, tough, like last year, we're all hit by COVID. Everybody was hit by COVID. Everybody suffered. The larger corporates, the MSMEs, everybody suffered. But, you know, if you know that I'm in this for the long haul, so that when when your business grows, you can actually transit it to the next generation. Have people who, you know, that even if you go on holiday, because you have to take a holiday, you know, if you need to go on holiday, your business is still running. And you're not afraid that, oh, are they doing it right? Or are they, you know, what's happening at my business and everything. And please don't copy and paste. Be unique. That's what I would like to say. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mal, for that great session. Please be unique. Now, some of the take home is we asked a question. So I think that some of the people having started should think about it. Starting a business, think clearly. Have a clear picture of what you're trying to do, right? Also try to build a business that can and should outlive you. And as much as possible, replicate yourself. Okay, so thank you so much, Mal, for that amazing session. I'm so sure that we all have actually gained a lot. So thank you so much. I would want to check if I have questions. I'll look at it, then I will proceed. Just a minute, please.
So we're having a lot of questions on loans. I think at the end of all the panels, we will get back to that and ask a couple of questions. I guess a lot of people are needing funding, so that's actually quite popular. At the moment, we have.
Go ahead.
Sorry. Okay, so we've just got recommendations, not like and comments like on how good the panel is, not direct questions. So I think we can move to the next panel if we don't have any internal questions.
Thank you so much. This is the best that we can expect from having great minds with us today. So I guess the accolades and recommendations are not surprising. So thank you so much to our panelists for making our time to be able to. So quickly we'll move to the fourth session, which is how to create a pitch for investors. I'm so sure a lot of attendees today are actually waiting out for us to discuss this particular topic, how to create a pitch for investors. And to help us discuss this particular session is one, Ms. Adenike Adeyemi. She's the Executive Director of Faith Foundation. And the second speaker is Ms. Ifedayo Durosimi Eti. She is the CEO, AGS Tribe. AGS Tribes, thank you so much. Please, you can help me put on your cameras so our attendees would place a face. So thank you so much.
Hi, Nelson. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. So, of course, the first person to help us discuss, or we're going to be discussing with, is Ms. Adenike Adeyemi of Faith Foundation. Every entrepreneur's dream is to expand their business at a given period, okay? Now, hence, they are on the lookout for investors, grants, and other opportunities that would enable them to expand their businesses and generate more revenue. Now, as the executive director of one of the top foundations in the world, what are the necessary steps an entrepreneur needs to take to attract the right investors? And what do you look at for when you are receiving a pitch from an entrepreneur?
Great. Thank you very much, Nelson, for that question. I think the good thing for our session is that quite a lot of the conversations that have happened from Mrs. Abisoye's keynote speech up to the sessions around accessing finance, human resource management, and even technology have built sort of like the foundations for my answer. What entrepreneurs really need to look at when you're trying to pitch for a business. First, I think the important thing I have to do first is clarify this notion around pitching, because a lot of times, a lot of entrepreneurs always think that a pitch is only at the point where maybe you are in a pitch session or you're in a pitch competition or something, but that every engagement with even your customers, with key partners, and every engagement that you do around or for your business is really an opportunity to pitch. And so we've had a lot of examples where entrepreneurs did not deliberately pitch, but they were called by an investor or they were called by institutions interested in investing or partnering with them for their business. So at the end of the day, your business has to be able to effectively speak in terms of being a solid business model, delivering what the business has committed to deliver in terms of the products and services that it has committed to deliver, having sound financial management and governance principles, and also showing the ability to be able to rapidly grow and scale as required. And so that's number one fundamental. Number two, when I'm looking or when I'm reviewing business pitches, or I'm having a conversation with an entrepreneur who is trying to access funds or is trying to access some type of investment support, and has come to have that conversation, I think the first thing that typical investors will look like is that how well does the entrepreneur understand the priorities of the fund we have. So as has been said earlier, there are different types of funds. Sometimes people pitch for smaller funds like grants and all of that. Sometimes you're pitching for larger funds and financing, whether through an angel investor, an equity partner, or you're looking for somebody to finance you through debt. At the end of the day, particularly because a lot of the funds that we have right now to support startups and SMEs, they're usually very targeted funds. So if we look at the case of LSETF, for instance, how well does the entrepreneur understand the priorities that the person putting that fund has set for? So priorities can be in terms of the use of the funds, the specific demographic target. If it's an impact fund, how well does the entrepreneur understand and is able to showcase being able to achieve the impact that that fund is looking to make, right? I think the other things that would also be important is really just ensuring that there's in addition to the due diligence that has been done, the person also presents and shares critical information about their business. So what traction have they made to date? What's the key value proposition for their product and or their service? What's the idea if it's in an idea stage, and what sort of progress have they made to date? If it's a business that's already in existence, how have they grown? What are their milestones? What's their market like? How have they been able to capture the initial part of the market, and how are they looking to even expand the market capturing? How well do they understand the industry and the space that they play in? And what do they feel will be their unique selling proposition, particularly if it's in a space where you have a lot of other players already in that space? How will they keep their current markets or target customers, and how do they intend to expand? What is the competitive space like? What are the other people who are in their space, either offering the same type of products and services or competitive or alternate products and services that the potential target market would look at? What's their business model? Does it make sense? How well experienced is the entrepreneur and their team, if they have? What is the kind of corporate governance and structure that they have? And really, what will they use the money for, right? That's what they're pitching for. So what will this money be used for, and how will that money be able to achieve sort of like the intents of the financing and the money that is put down? Okay, thank you so much, Ma. Wow. I'm so sure that a lot of people actually took down a lot. Most of us didn't know that there are a lot of processes to this, especially to say you addressed an issue. How well do you understand the priority of the fund that is available? I'm so sure a lot of people that have ideas of startups, they know that is actually something they should consider. Thank you so much for that. And also you talked about the key value proposition for the product. Thank you so much for that insightful information. Thank you so much. So I'll move on to the next speaker, Ms. Ifedayo Duro-Simieti. Are you available, ma'am?
Yes, I am. Hi, good morning. Oh, it's morning here where I am. So good morning, everyone. I'm very, very excited and honored to be here.
Same here. The energy is same. So thank you so much for joining.
Thank you.
Quickly, I want to ask you just one question, and so you can share some insight with us. Now, you are a renowned business owner, and you've had quite a lot of experience in connecting women with opportunities such as grants, loans, and etc. Now, what advice would you give to young entrepreneurs who are looking for means to expand their businesses? Now, what do you think is the most important when drafting a pitch?
Okay, firstly, for any young entrepreneur that is here, like apart from I've heard the speaker before me, okay, talk about some of the things that should be in your pitch deck, like your value proposition, background of your organization, the team, because at the end of the day, they're investing in you as a founder first before they're even investing in your company. You need to have your financial projections there. You need to talk about how much you've already made so far if you are a company that has already been in business and all that. So she's spoken about all of that. So I wouldn't even dwell too much on that. But some of the things that, I would like to even touch on are some of things like you must first be creating value. Like for any entrepreneur who wants to raise money for their business, the number one thing you should have, because I'm currently in the middle of a raise right now, firstly, you must be creating value. And firstly, as for you to be creating value, you must be impacting lives, right? So the people that you are impacting, for me, for example, when I started thinking about raising for my business, a lot of investors, where I was speaking to them, I was pitching and I was doing all of this. I was trying to get into like the traditional VC investors. And a couple of things that they were telling me was like, oh, because I have a community, right? They were like, oh, I don't want to invest in a community. What is a community? How is that going to, bring back money for me? But I knew what I was holding. I knew that I had value in my community. So I was confident about what I was doing, So I took obviously the feedback from them, and I was like, okay, let me go back and listen to what these people have said and, come back better. And that was what I did. So for me, when I started raising, I decided, you know what, I'm going to do it my way. I'm going to create my own table. If these people are not going to create a table for me, I'm going to create my own table. So firstly, I said create value, right? Then I created my own table. With creating my table, I said, okay, I have this community, this huge community of entrepreneurs and professionals. And these people already buy into my business, which is why obviously they're part of my community. So let me tell them first that I want to raise money for my business. And guess what? We were oversubscribed in less than a week. And now investors saw that and they realized that, oh my gosh, these people actually have something. So they started coming to me. And between the time I spoke about the fact that I wanted to raise money for my business, and today I've literally had calls with like different VC investors, which wouldn't have been there wouldn't have been that possibility, if I did not create that table. So it's important for everybody, to create that table for themselves if, the people that you think are going to invest in your business are not investing in you. Thirdly, you need to be prepared to take advantage of opportunities. So there are different opportunities like grants, loans, and stuff like that can help you take your business to the next level. But how prepared are you to take advantage of these opportunities? I had an opportunity to pay for a trip and this opportunity was already given to somebody else, right? But because a particular state government was the one organizing that trip, the person was like, oh, why would I pay for this trip when the state government, is the one that is organizing it? Oh, they've chopped the money. And, the person was just not interested in putting that commitment. So they asked me, I was like, oh, are you willing to pay to go on this trip, to go and do so and so, like meet investors and do all kinds of things. And I was like, okay, this sounds like an amazing opportunity. Let me go. So I didn't have money at the time, but I was able to look for money up and down the whole place. And I eventually went on that trip. And that trip was actually what birthed AGS Tribe as it is today. So if I did not go on that trip, I wouldn't have been able to, write my book, and the governor wouldn't have been able to do the forward of the book. And because of that, just that singular action, I was able to now create a social media page to now provide more opportunities for women. And because of that singular action, more women were impacted. So it created a whole ripple effect that I wouldn't have imagined at the beginning when I was offered the opportunity to spend my money to go for a trip. So people need to be prepared and have your ducks in a row, no matter what life is throwing at you at that point in time. Like, for example, I'm currently here for an accelerator program. I'm in Senegal for an accelerator program. And if I wasn't ready to go into that program and the opportunity came, they wouldn't have selected me. If I didn't already have my papers in place, if I wasn't, paying taxes, if I wasn't doing things the right way, if my business wasn't registered. I had, the World Bank, they wanted to write a report on and some things, and there was an opportunity for Nigerians who have exportable products to be part of that whatever we were doing. And I put it up on my social media to say, oh, if you have an exportable product, fill out this link and all of that. And there was somebody who had been in business for 20 years, but she wasn't officially registered. So you're not going to tap into any official opportunity. It's almost impossible for you to scale to the next level if you don't do things the right way. So it's important for every young entrepreneur to do things the right way so that when opportunities come, you'll be able to tap into them. The opportunities I've been seeing with like ACT Foundation and even Faith Foundation, when my business wasn't registered, because I still thought it was still going to be an Instagram page and all that, but they were like, oh, you have to have been in business for 2 years before you can tap into this opportunity. But because I was still taking my business lightly, I was still saying, oh, it's just an Instagram page and all of that, we're not really a business and stuff. I couldn't tap into those opportunities. And I had to go and re-register my business last year because it was just Instagram that we were doing and we were impacting all these lives and everything. And that's how, I've now been able to tap into other opportunities that have come. So if you're not taking your business very seriously, if you're not looking at the impact, if you're not looking at scaling, if you're not looking at legacy, you're not going to be prepared to tap into opportunities. So the top 3 things I would like to just summarize is, obviously, you have to be creating value. So your business has to be something that, is solving one of the SDG goals, like I always say, because the UN, they've already done all their research and seen that, okay, this business, these issues are global issues that we need help with. So your business should at least tie into one of the sustainable development goals, and that you're actually solving a real scalable problem, and money will chase you. So you pitching to investors that's a given. You will get money. You might not get everybody you speak to, but the money will chase you. So first, please be creating value. Secondly, if you're not given a seat at the table, create your own table. Not everybody is going to like your face. Not everybody is going to, make way for you because you want to come into the industry. You have to create your own table, and everything would fall in line for you. And thirdly, just be yourself. Don't be afraid. Just do it afraid. I'm always scared to do things, but I've tried to do things afraid. And fourthly, you need to be prepared to take advantage of opportunities. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I said when the opportunity meets preparedness, right? The end result is success.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you so much for that. Take opportunities, guys, like we're making available today. LSETF is here today. Unicaf is giving a cash sum for its award. The banks are here today. There's a lot of things going on today. So take the opportunity. Start now. Start now. Now is the time to take up the opportunity. So thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ifedayo Drosimi. Thank you. Thank you so much, Ms. Adenike. Quite an amazing information that you've shared with us. We're so excited that you did this with us. Of course, we know you're very busy people and we do not take your time for granted. So thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Now I'll be jumping to the 5th session. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Before we continue, thank you so much, Mark. Thank you. Thank you. There's some questions. So let me quickly give the floor to Ms. Ayodeji to help us out with the questions. Before she's ready, I want to thank LSETF, that's the Lagos State Employment Trust Fund, for doing this with Unicaf. Thank you so much to the Nigerian British Chamber of Commerce, and also thank you, Unicaf, for making this possible. So all the partners, all the speakers, we thank you so much for taking our time to do this with us. We appreciate your presence here. So over to you, please, Ms. Adenike. Ms. Ayodeji, are you there with me?
Yes, I'm here. I'm just going through. Sorry. Okay. I'm here. I'm just
two or three questions. We're good, if we have any.
No, we don't have any questions that are directed at building your pitch at the moment.
Okay. That saves us some time. So I want to immediately dive into the 5th session, which is go-to-market strategy for startups. Okay.
Sorry, can I just interject? So a question just came in for Ife. It says, what do you mean by creating a table? While another person says, create your table, that's word. We have a lot of...
okay. So quickly, we'll go to the 5th session. It has been an amazing time. Amazing time.
Sorry, very quickly. I'm sorry to interrupt you again. Ife, I can see Ife is on here. So I'd ask that question again. Somebody asked, what does it mean to bring... Sorry, well, let me just go back there. if you don't get a seat at the table, what does it mean to bring your own table?
Okay, so thank you, Ayo, for that question. I already even kind of gave a typical example, but let me, expatiate a little bit. So I run a community of entrepreneurs, female entrepreneurs and professionals, and we try to empower them through grants, loans, jobs, scholarships, things that women typically don't have access to on a day-to-day. So we're pretty much putting all these opportunities in their faces. And when we started on Telegram, like it was a really small thing. I didn't know that it was going to blow up. So when we started blowing up, I realized that we needed to build a mobile app. So building a mobile app is not an easy feat. And especially if you want to build something that is like global standard, you want it to be on iOS, you want it to be on Android. So obviously we needed money to do that. And I didn't have money at the time. But I eventually found a way, broke my savings, everything, built the app like an MVP so that people can see that, okay, this girl, is onto something. But now we're at the point where at the beginning it was only me. Like it was just me and I had somebody else helping me in the business. So now the app, because of the app grew so fast, we currently have over 14,000 members. Obviously we need different people to manage different things. We need someone to manage customer service. We need someone to manage our tech. We need a tech team. So we're trying to expand, right? So obviously at this point, we need to raise money to be able to do all these things if we want to do it properly. We need to get proper experts in different aspects. All these things don't come cheap, right? So I started speaking to people, and a lot of people already believed AGS Tribe to be a community, which we are. Like, there's nothing bad in a community. Facebook is a community, LinkedIn is a community. So I thought a lot of people would just get it. And, when I speak to them, I say, oh, we've grown so fast between December and today. We have over 15,000 members and all that. I thought a lot of people would just buy into it. But guess what? I started speaking to investors, people who know me, who know my value, who know what I stand for, people who have seen me push hard for the last 3 years. They've seen, lives like literally in our community get transformed just because they're part of our community. I have they can see these things, right? But guess what they were telling me? They don't really understand. Oh, is it an NGO? Oh, are they going to make money out of it? Oh, they don't think a community is something that, is valuable. I started getting comments like, oh, there can never be another Facebook. They are just like different people telling me different things. And, I got really, really depressed. I was like, oh my gosh, how am I going to do this? I know that I have something big here. I can see the future. I can see so many things that we can help women with. I can see us offering women different ththings, from savings to high interest to all kinds of things. Like, I could already see it, but people couldn't see it. What did I do? I just wrote on my literally Insta stories a few days ago, and I was like, oh, I'm trying to raise 500K USD to grow my business, to hire more people on my team and all that. I'm just being very honest here, and I'm not joking. Within 24 hours, I said I was trying to raise 500K. I got a commitment from different, like over 300 people, which summed up to over 1 million. That now I have to pick and choose who exactly I want on my cap table, who is going to come into the business, who is going to do what. And because people started seeing the push and the rush and how people were like, oh my gosh, we're building her economy. So we're pivoting, we're changing the name to a different name. People started seeing the push and people were like, oh my God, I want to invest in this kind of business. I know that this is going to be the next unicorn. And people were just talking about it. I've gotten calls from 3 different investors over the last couple of days just because they saw that. So that was me literally creating my own table. So now I will now choose which investor I want to be on my table. So that investor needs to already have been supporting women. You cannot just come and say, oh, because I know this business is going to do well, I'm going to invest. You're not going to cash out on me. You're going to we have to have like mutually aligned value systems and stuff like that. We have to believe in the same thing. We want to empower women and all that. So what I'm saying in essence is that I created my own table. I did not go the traditional way of, overly pitching to different investors and stuff like that. I'll still do that, but now I can choose. Like, I can say, oh, no, I don't want you in my company. I don't think I like you. You're causing oil spillage in the world. I don't want you, So that way I created my own table. So it's important for you to have that option. And the only reason why I was able to do that is because over the years, people have seen my consistency. People have seen that I create value in the lives of other people. So I'm not just a company that is just trying to make money. I'm a company that is also creating impact. So they can already see that. People can even see beyond what I can see. And that's why a lot of people now want to be a part of it, because they know that, like the likes of Facebook and the likes of Apple, that's the way they grew. That's how they became the next unicorn. So a lot of people can see that. So yeah, it's important for you to create your own table. First, understand that you need to be creating value. Don't just say, oh, I want to start baking bread because I like bread. Do people like bread? Is your bread really going to solve a problem? Is your bread helping maybe diabetes people consume bread without, getting diabetes? Things like that. So you need to really, really pick your niche, hone on your niche, and just create value for that place. And let it be a market that is huge enough to actually make a difference to you. If not, then there's no point being in that business. Some people say, oh, I'm passionate. Even if you're passionate, is it really creating an impact? And passion, if you don't get money from that passion, after some time, you burn out. And it will not be scalable. So you need to, look at things more critically before you say, oh, I actually want to build a business, and I actually want to, build something that will outlive me. And that's what I'm trying to do. Thank you.
Wow, that was an insightful one. Thank you so much. So guys, go create your table today. Create it right now.
Yep.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ifedayo.
Thank you.
So much for that. Yeah, so I think we should move to the fifth session. Are you in agreement with me?
Yes, go on, please.
Okay, thank you so much. So we're moving on to the fifth session, which is go-to-market strategy for startups. And to help us discuss this is Ms. Ezine Alfa. I hope I pronounce it properly. She is the CEO, Beauty in Lagos. And the second speaker is Ms. Omodara Adediran, the head of communication, LSETF. So please may our panelists put on their cameras so we can begin our conversation. Oh, fantastic. I can see them over there. Thank you so much for joining us. I will start with Ms. Ezine. Ma, your area of expertise is an interesting one to us. And of course, a lot of people that know your brand. Now, as you have been in the online space from the inception, in a sector that was not booming at the time. Now, what advice do you have for businesses trying to set up in the online space?
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. Thank you so much for having me be a part of this conversation. I've been listening all through, off and on. And it's interesting. Ifedayo's story really resonated with me in terms of like building your own table, because when I first started, there was nothing like what I was doing, right? So the most important thing I would say is understand what your why is. Why are you starting this business and what problem are you solving, right? And in terms of the online space, when I started the platform, it will be 10 years next year. There wasn't Instagram at the time, right? But there's Instagram now. And you can start a blog without having to pay any money. You can start an online store with Wix as well. So in the online space, there are a lot of resources that you can use. And for me, coming into the online space was a no-brainer because I felt like I wanted to share information. And I feel like anyone else that is interested in the online space should look at the free resources available before going into spending any money. And also something Ifedayo said was passion, being passionate, right? And how it's not necessarily going to get you across the board, like to last 10 years, 15 years in this business. So one thing I find very interesting with Nigerian business owners, right, is this, the first thing is they want to make money. I want to make money. How can I make money? How can I blow? I feel like you should be solving a problem. That should be the first thing. What problem can I solve is the first thing you should ask, and then look into the free resources that are available to you online.
Okay, thank you so much. I apologize, I was muted all through. Now, What is your why? That is a big question, and I hope all the business owners today would answer that question truthfully and very honest with themselves. What is your why? Thank you so much, Mark, for that very insightful conversation. Now, the next question I want to ask you is, what challenges did you face, and what advice can you give to participants in your sector looking to expand or start a business?
Okay, so for me, the main challenge I faced was people did not understand what I was doing. They did not understand what value I was bringing. And also what Ifedayo was saying as well, it's like I knew what it was I was bringing to the table. I knew that these businesses needed BIL at the time, but they couldn't see it. And so you now need to become the business that you're trying to reach, as well as the business that you are. So you have to put yourself in their shoes and see, how can I communicate what value I bring to this business? Because you also have to just get rid of your pride. I know how passionate you are about the business you're starting, how you know you're going to solve this problem. And that was one thing with me as well. I was like, how come you can't see that you need BIL, right? But then I had to take a step back and understand that as much as I know what I am doing and what I'm bringing to the table, these people are business owners and their own goals are completely different, right? They will align in the end, but I need to communicate that to them. So that was my major challenge. Nobody understood what a beauty resource or a beauty blog was at the time. They felt like I've started my business, so people should come to me, right? And I was, yeah, your friends will come to you, but if you're trying to reach more people, you need to market your business, right? But they still did not see the value. And that was the main challenge for me, getting people to understand that they needed my business to help them grow. So even if I can imagine that quite a few people here who feel like they have this amazing idea, they know that businesses need this solution, but no one's catching on to what they are bringing to the table. Like Ifedayo said, just keep going, be consistent, keep growing, keep expanding, and also be willing to evolve, right? When I started, it was just the website. And now it's actually meeting physically with these brands and providing solutions, market entry strategy, go-to-market strategies for these businesses. But then did I see the business going to this point when I first started? No, but if I was so resilient in, oh, this is why I started and this is why I'm going to keep going, we won't be where we are today. You asked another question.
The question was, what challenges did you face and what advice can you give participants in your sector looking to expand or start a business?
Okay, so just to clarify, my sector is the beauty industry. Right? So people looking to expand, I always say this to businesses, consumers in the beauty industry are very different from pretty much every other industry in the sense that they are intelligent. So they kind of know what they already want and they want to know if you know what they want. So I would say to expand, start understanding who your target market is, because the beauty industry is wide, as is, I think, every other industry. So understand your market and create strategies around pushing your UVP, your unique value proposition. Create strategies, your USP should be all around pushing that, right? Don't think so much about expanding your business. It will expand if you are providing value. That's what I always say. So I would say, create a narrative around the solution that you are providing and you will expand eventually, and remain consistent.
Okay, thank you so much. Create a narrative and remain consistent. Now, also, I want to add something. If you need knowledge, please gain one. If you need to take up a course to learn something new, to be able to gain relevant experience in that industry, that sector you want to venture into, please do so. Because I'm so sure that these great minds that we have here today, at some point, did have to go back to the drawing table and acquire relevant knowledge to expand and grow. So thank you so much, Ma, for your time. Thank you so much for that knowledgeable insights. We are so sure that everyone gained a lot. So I'll be moving on to our next speaker, Ms. Omodara Adediro. Now the question to you, Ma, that you help us answer is, LSETF, that's the Lagos State's Employment Trust Fund, has been at the forefront of enabling entrepreneurs to have a seamless process when starting their businesses. Now, how have you been able to accomplish this, and what role does effective communication and marketing play in building a successful business in Nigeria? Thank you. I don't know if that was clear. You get that?
Yes, it was. Thank you, Nelson. Okay. How are you?
We're doing great.
Awesome. Okay, thanks for the question. And I mean, we're really glad to partner, obviously, with you on this summit. It's a beautiful one, and one that I believe, a lot of entrepreneurs will find very insightful. So to go to your question, just to recap a bit, I want to make sure I got it. You said LSETF has been at the forefront of enabling entrepreneurs to have a seamless process when starting their business, and you were asking how we're able to achieve that, and also the role of communication and marketing in building a business in Nigeria. So, I mean, I will start with how we've been able to, how we've maintained our position at the forefront of supporting supporting entrepreneurs in Lagos State. And it's, even though it's interesting because the support that we've done in Lagos State has then spilled onto other states, in terms of growth and whatnot that our businesses, the businesses that we've supported have been able to achieve. But I think that really the secret for us and why we have really won with this is because we're able to create value across the chain. So we're not just, restricted to funding, or we're not just restricted to workspaces, for example, but what we have done is to identify what these business owners require, what entrepreneurs require to succeed, and then we have created value every single step of the way. So I'll give you an example. Even before you think of becoming an entrepreneur, LSETF is there. So we have programs where we empower people in all sorts of skills, ranging from the fashion sector to the beauty sector to the construction sector, tech, film. It's a whole thing. That's even before you become an entrepreneur. When we support people who, are trying to figure out what they want to do in life, or have just graduated from school or something like that. And then when you're starting to shape the idea, then you look at our other programs, the incubation type things we have, like the things that we have with the Idea Hub. And then you're thinking, oh, I need a workspace. And then there's our Workspace Voucher. You're thinking of funding. We have numerous opportunities for access to finance, from our loans to our grants. The possibilities just are enormous. And even when you then become either, a small scale business, or, your medium, or whatever level you find yourself in, right? Then we have both from our funding opportunities to our business support services. So we never leave our entrepreneurs hanging. So it's hard not to be at the top of the game if you provide all that, because it's consistent value across every single phase of the entrepreneur's journey. Before you think of becoming an entrepreneur, LSETF is there. When you figure it out, we're there. When you want funding, we're there. When you're like, oh, this business is driving me crazy, it's about to crash, we're there to bring you back up. When you need support services, legal, accounting, whatnot, we have numerous partnerships across different sectors, for legal, accounting, bookkeeping, business automation. I can go on and on and on. If you think of the tech ecosystem, we're also supporting you there. So the question really is, for me, how do we not be in the forefront? Because we have just committed to serving these entrepreneurs every step of the way. And I think that's really what has helped LSETF and what has helped us to really maintain that position. And even though it's very interesting work, really, because we never stop. Even when it comes to trying to figure out, if you look at like our product development unit, then we begin to think of things around, okay, what the skills for tomorrow are, where businesses should be heading, if it's technology that's required for them to scale. If you even look at our Lagos Innovate program, we even have mentors, dedicated mentors, across our different programs. So it's such a huge portfolio of support that I honestly don't see an entrepreneur thriving in Lagos without, okay, maybe that's not very humble, but I don't see, an entrepreneur, thriving in Lagos and not wanting to key into something that LSETF does, because it's just a holistic, huge platform of a myriad of services across different ecosystems and across every single step of your journey. And then to the second bit about the role of effective communication and marketing. I mean, people have said so much on this panel. They've said so much in terms of how communication and marketing do play a role in helping you to build that business. But I think the only tiny things I would just add to that is, people have spoken so much about value, around value creation. And the major question I would ask is, how will people know you're creating value if you can't market it to them? So there's this thing about consumers, and we face that even as an organization. You have something that, you've done your market research, this is valuable, right? You have business owners that we know that legal or taxing will become a challenge for you. But then we set up services that are absolutely free and nobody signs up because they somehow cannot see the benefits. And that's where marketing comes in, because that's what marketing does for you, an effective communication. It breaks it down in a way that when you see the messaging, you're beyond reasonable doubt that it's for you. So it's almost like, you know, you position it in a way that you have this or you don't have anything. And then everybody starts scrambling. Please, can we register right now? Can you send me the video right after? You know, can you just put me on the session? You know, and that's what marketing really does for you. So when you've created this value, in order for you to make customers or the people that you're trying to, you know, attract, realize how relevant it is to your business, marketing kind of bridges that gap for you. So, you know, it helps you to attract potential customers. It helps you with your awareness. It helps you to bring people on board. And of course, it also helps you with positioning. So all the things that you've spoken about regarding LSETF now, and, you know, being at the forefront of you know, supporting entrepreneurs in Lagos State, these are things that you know about and people know about because of the brand that we've created and how we've been able to position it, right? If we were everywhere and dabbling into multiple things and our communication was very scattered, those are not things that you would have been able to pick up. But then everybody can have this conversation because we're very clear in terms of what we offer and how we support you and in the areas in which I'm hoping that I ended up with a very humble presentation. That's where I was going there before I got caught up in great work with you.
Thank you so much for that. It was an amazing one, actually. Thank you so much. Quite explanatory, straight to the point. So thank you. Now, just to buttress, you stated that LSETF is here for everyone, all entrepreneurs in Lagos. Okay, you're open for partnerships and to help businesses grow. So I think that will be all for the 5th session. So thank you so much to our amazing speakers, Ms. Ezine Alpha and Ms. Omadara Adeniran. Thank you so much for this. So I'll be yielding the floor to Ms. Ayodeji to continue for the 6 sessions, and then I think we're almost running up. After this, we have the last session, and then we're done. So over to you, Ms. Ayodeji. I know we would address questions. We agreed to address questions towards the end, so I'll just yield the floor to you to continue.
Okay. So we'll look at the remaining questions for the end of the whole session. So moving on to session 6, which is your business idea. So we have on here Mr. Olusegun Alimi, who is Lagos State Lead for Skills for Prosperity, Nigeria, and Palladium Group. Welcome. Please say hi.
Hi, Ayo. Thank you. Very good to be here.
And then we also have Mrs. Boale. She is the CEO of Enterprise Girl Africa. Please say hello.
Hi, Entrepreneur Girl Africa. Hello, Ayo. It's so nice to be here.
It's so nice to have you. So moving quickly, we'll be starting with Mrs. Boale. So obviously, because of the pandemic SARS episode, a lot of individuals have sort of like had and are now tailored towards, you know, having a 9-to-5, but business as well. Now, in regards to that, how can people have, or for lack of a better word, how can an entrepreneur which I feel like that is the starting point. Like, absolutely. How can they develop a business idea?
Okay, I like this question because many people don't even think it's necessary to develop their business idea. It's ridiculous, you know, we sit in our bedrooms and we say, I have this idea, I want to start a business, and people just jump straight into it without actually considering how to develop their business ideas. So I'm just going to mention 3 things. There are so many things to do, really, in order to develop your business idea. But three things stand out. And the very first thing is that you need to first decide who is your target audience, right? I'm starting a business. I want to sell this. I want to sell that. Makeup, fashion, energy, whatever it is. You need to identify who your target audience is, right? There's absolutely no product or service that can serve everybody, none whatsoever. Even water, as basic and universal as water is, right? Nestle doesn't serve everybody, right? Water doesn't serve everybody, right? Some people go for the higher end water, some people go for the lower end. Some people buy sachet water and all of that. So there's no product that serves everybody from cradle to grave, right? So the very important and first thing you need to do to develop that business idea is, okay, yes, I want to sell cars, right? I want to cook, I want to be a beautician, whatever it is. Who is my target audience going to be? And you're not just looking for who your target audience is just for the sake of it. You are finding out who your target audience is because this helps your marketing, right? Marketing can be very ineffective and useless, for lack of a better word, if it is if it doesn't speak to who your audience is, right? So there's so many adverts out there that, you just walk on by and it doesn't speak to you. Obviously, you're not their target audience, right? But you're as a business person, before you can speak to somebody to convince them to buy what you're selling, you have to be able to speak in a language that they understand. You have to be able to present your message in a language that they understand, right? For instance, off the top of my head, okay, I want to convince my children to eat their vegetables. Vegetables is good for them, right? It's greens, it's all of that. But if I present it to them as vegetables, if I give them carrots and cucumbers and all of that, they're not going to eat it. Absolutely not. Even though it's a product they need, they will never eat it. But I have to remodify it and remodel that product in a way that will be attractive to them, right? Because they are because of the target audience they fall into, right? So what am I going to do with my vegetables? I'm going to carry the carrots, I'm going to blend it, I'm going to freeze it and make it into a popsicle, right? That's an orange popsicle. The color is attractive, the ice is attractive. It's yummy, right? It's the same carrot, right? But a different way of passing the message across. And this is where a lot of entrepreneurs miss it. You have products that people absolutely need, but because you have not been able to sit down to say, who is my target audience? You don't know how to pass the message across. So we find a lot of people coming on Instagram to dance, to sell. You don't have to dance to sell, because the people who are dancing know who their target audience is. This is why they dance. But you find some people coming to dance. Some people even sell Bibles and they're dancing. And I'm like, please, like, what's the connection, right? But because they don't know who their target audience is, they don't know how to speak to them, right? So it's very important, very critical for you to know who this product I'm selling, this service I'm trying to offer, right? Who am I selling it to? That will largely depend, and that will largely tell you how to speak, to that person. That's the very first thing. Then the second thing is you need to ask yourself, how do I stand out? Look, I don't care what business you're trying to start. Even if you're trying to ship people to the moon, you are not the first person who's going to come up with that idea. And you need to get that fact, right? You need to come to terms with that fact. I'm not the first person with this business idea. And because of that, the market is already crowded. And if God helps you, you are looking to social media to sell your products or more, you're like to number 2 million on the line because it is a crowded market, right? So how do I stand out? What will make people look away from their current supplier to come to me? Are you selling clothes? Obviously, everybody already has where they buy clothes from. Are you selling food? Are you selling electronics? People already have where they buy your product or service from. What will make them leave their current provider or supplier and come to you? You need to think of a way to stand out. And standing out it doesn't need to be something, something so technical and difficult. But what are the things that make customers keep coming back to you? That's the second thing you need to think about. And then the very third thing is, how will I get funding? Yes, you want to start a side hustle. Your idea is great and all of that. You need to think about it, whether a product-based or service-based business. It's capital to start. Where are you going to get that money from? Are you going to, is it from savings? Is it from family and friends? Where is the money going to come from? Because really, it is capital that will, build that business up. And I know we've been talking a lot of this in this discourse, but my advice to new startups is that please don't take up loans. Really dangerous, very risky. Very dangerous and very risky, especially from, institutions and all of that, because you don't have a track record. You don't have experience of that business. You don't know how well the business will do. You cannot predict sales. You cannot predict, what you're going to be importing will be delayed at the port. Unfortunately, the product has been at the Nigerian or with Nigerian customs for the past 6 weeks. If she had borrowed that money, she's going to be in a lot of trouble, right? So anything can happen. If you want to start a business, you really need to think critically. Where can I get money from to start this business that will be least, disruptive for me? So these basically are the 3 important things to me that you need to consider when developing a business idea.
Thank you so much for that very detailed explanation. What you've already talked about that as well. So I'd like Mr. Shego, are there any applications or support systems that assist when coming up with an idea and just following it through all the way to the end?
Okay.
From idea to actual business, that's what I mean.
Yes, thank you very much, Ayo. I want to check that you can hear me clearly.
Yes, I can hear you clearly.
Okay, awesome. I mean, so great discourse that has been had so far, very interesting and insightful. So a lot of what has been spoken about really is just the whole life cycle of sort of what a business person would go through, talking about how to infuse technology, how to pitch your business, your value proposition, and things like that, and your target audience. However, I always say something because I believe in simple things. So at the basic level, if you have internet, you have some form of smartphone, you already have essential tools you need. Because there are a lot of questions on funding and capital, but I always say the first sort of capital you need is knowledge capital. That's very, very critical. That's very, very important for any business person. That is the seed capital you need to take it further. Because we're talking of track record, we're talking of value proposition. See, further, I was talking of having to start off or do something on your own. So, but you have to research, you have to have this knowledge. A lot of times people just say, okay, I want to do this thing, I'm passionate about this thing, I believe this thing will be successful, So there's the whole value chain of understanding the need and how do you take this thing to market. But like I say, you have to first say, how do I get the necessary resources? In the past, access to resources was one of the challenges in addition to access to finance, access to capital, access to knowledge, access to just the networks and things like that. However, now there are a lot of resources. There are business plan templates. So even if you just have this idea, there's a template, there are templates online, there are applications for business plans for startups, to help. So okay, how can you fill these applications? So we're looking at it from sort of low tech, high tech, things like that. So there are those applications. But at the basic level, we have business support services across different forums, different sectors, different organizations. So organizations like Faith, EDC, different faith-based organizations, even the government, we have robust policies, we have robust programs. There are a lot of programs that have existed. And these programs offer capacity building to young people, to entrepreneurs at different levels of their businesses. And so these are important to keep because a topic or sort of a conversation that has been mainstreamed and nuanced through different conversations is the importance of knowledge understanding. So asking your why is getting the knowledge from within, then getting the practical experience through research. So research and development is something that is very, very critical, for businesses. So when you are able to research, you say, okay, what business am I trying to do? Other things that are very, very critical within the ecosystem. So tapping into all these business advisory services that are available, a lot of them come free or at a very subsidized rate. It's also mentorship. So it's very important, intergenerational mentorship. So those are systems in place. Because when we talk of innovation is not just technology. When we talk of systems, STEM is not just like you go online. Yes, there are those applications, there are those templates. But how are you leveraging your network? So even not just even looking at beyond entrepreneurs who are doing amazing things. How are you looking at entrepreneurs who you've watched grow that are at medium level or small level? Because the challenge is a lot of businesses in Nigeria, looking at Nigerian context, have the challenge of, so because there's no proper research that's been done. Yes, we have a dearth of data in the country, but however, how are you engaging? So I believe like in peer learning, that's very, very critical to aiding people. So those are already existing and it fits into our culture as a nation, not people able to learn and just even bringing it to the context of what we're trying to do on the Skills for Prosperity program. We're looking to how do we empower people, how do we equip people, with the skills and tools to enable them go on and start up businesses and enterprises on their own, and they're able to give back to themselves, to their community, and ultimately to the nation. So we cannot take away the place of learning, and development is very critical. So self-development, looking for opportunities to learn, because it's very, very important, to learn before you earn, and also to get ready, to stay ready so you don't have to get ready, because when the opportunity comes, you just need to hit the ground running. So I will just wrap up and just wish everyone all the best, but it's important to know that knowledge capital is the seed capital you need from the beginning. Thank you, Aya.
Thank you so much, Mr. Shago, and thank you, Mr. Boale, as well, for that.